You're running.
Hello, Paul here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's April 14th, 2014. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to do a garden report where we're just going to go through and look at what's happening in the garden. So here we have some thyme that we just planted. And then over here we have fennel right here and here. And we put some new plants in here. And these plants survived the winter. We had a very cold winter here in Nashville, and miraculously they survived. And so now we're going to pick up and we're going to move over to the tomato pepper section. And
I'm good, Paul.
Okay.
This area is beautiful, isn't it?
Right here.
Just beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
Step back a little, please, Dan.
Okay, and here we have, this is a bit of a big tomato cage, and just something to hang the plants on. I let them run free last year. I didn't really use the tomato cages, and we did very well that way, but they're sort of laying around and they're beautiful, so why not put them to work? And then over here we have some parsley at the end of my toe that also survived the winter. And the parsley is a very important food for juicing. Very good thing to juice. And then over there, Daddy, if you could turn about 180. I went by something important. This is lemon sorrel, S-O-R-E-L, or it might be 2 R's or 2 L's, I don't know. But all this survived the winter here, all these plants here. And they're putting out flowers and seeds now.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. To think of the cold winter we had and the things made it through is just...
Well, they look so luxurious, Paul.
They look really healthy and happy.
Do you eat or juice them at all?
Yeah, but in small amounts. They're a bit of a strong flavor, and so just in small amounts. And then I'll turn back over and show you the rest of the tomatoes. And let's do this garden, Daddy. And then over here, here we have a lot of rows that just a lot of miscellaneous. It's a lot of it's about variety. Certain things will do well, certain things won't show up at all. I used to mark everything, but I found that just took a lot of time, and I'd much rather be more right-brained about it than I have little numbers that I can put on each row, and that was fun for a while. But we just put it down, and if it comes up, great. If we get 10%, we're swimming in vegetables. So that's kind of how I do it. And then over here we have a bit of a different tomato setup. We have tomato cages, and these, you know, I'm just using what's around the farm, and things get left and things get bought and never used. And so we got these pieces of wood on them that I cut out called mycoboards, and I'll be explaining them in another video. You can look them up online, but they're a really good way to minimize your work of weeding and watering. And we have more tomato cages over here, and the basil's planted here. And I plant things in waves. So this was my first wave. These plants I put in about over a month ago. Back in Valentine's Day in February, when no one's thinking of gardening, I put in a new row or set of rows every 2 weeks. And so it's a time release thing, and that way I'm harvesting in waves. And so I have a continual supply, and it also spreads out the labor on the front side because there's only one person and you can only do so much. But you can see my little kale plants here, and you can see my little beet plants right here. And they're coming up, and to have them established in mid-April is a really amazing. It's a really good thing because they'll go really strong here in a little while. And let's move over to the peppers now. And the peppers are in these hollow logs, and one's a cherry log, one's a sycamore log, and this log came into the sawmill and it was hollow and not much good. So I just cut it into cookies, we call it, little 4-inch sections, and put them down, and there you go. You have an amazing fertilization tool, and keeps the weeds out, keeps the water in, keeps your labor way down, and it's just so easy to do. And these are heavy, of course, but I roll them, and thankfully I'm strong enough to lift them as well. But you could always use a smaller, there's always hollow logs available, and you can use a smaller one that suits you as far as the weight and having to lift it and so forth. And then we'll come back over this way and I'll show you a few more things. Okay, right here we have carrots. Now, this row right here, it doesn't look like much. There's a weed there. But these little plants here are carrots, and I love carrots. They're really good in the juice, and there's nothing like the carrot from your own garden. It tastes very different than what you're going to get in the store. It's a lot fresher, and they'll need a little weeding, maybe a little thinning, but they do very well here, especially as we're digging the soil down deep with the narrow trenching shovel is what I use. And then come over here and I'll show you some of the other plants and we'll finish out. Okay, over here we have dandelions, what most people consider a weed, but what I've found in my research is that the Pilgrims brought this over in the early history of our European settlement of this country as a medicinal plant, and it's very bitter. I don't like the taste, but I feel great when I eat it. And after having the first one of the year, I really felt a metabolic boost, you could say, and it's a very amazing plant, one worth researching and one giving a lot of attention to. And I'll put these in a juicer maybe once a day into a quart of juice, and it's powerful. And then here we have coriander right here, or cilantro. I don't know what the proper name is, but this is very good in the juicer, and supposed to have a lot of great qualities. And so I've got a row of it here, and that survived the winter. And there's a volunteer here, and a lot of volunteers over here. And volunteer. We're Tennessee. We're the volunteer state, and coriander will throw off a lot of seeds. I let all my plants go to flower, if possible, and then I collect the seeds if I have time and energy. And so we'll move over here now, and I'll show you some more. Okay, over here we have black zucchini just coming up. We have about 4 or 5 hills here. And black zucchini will put out a lot of food very quickly. And it's good to be juiced. I can just come out here and eat them when they're small. They're very tasty. And then over here we have a lot of lettuce and carrots.
Where are the carrots from?
The carrots are right here. Here. This row here is carrots. This is lettuce. Just grows like crazy here. These are about 3 weeks old. So they take a while to get established, but once they get established and the soil starts warming up, they really do well. Now over here we have spinach. And that's a weed. You see my little spinach plants here? And that looks like kale right there.
Where's the kale from?
Right here.
Where?
Right here. That could be radish too. We'll see in a little while. Yeah. But we'll wind it up there. And thank you for joining us and for watching our garden report. And we'll be back at the next available opportunity to show you more. And hopefully things will be growing and flourishing even more as the soil warms up and as the air warms up. Thank you for watching. Over and out.